Good evening, guys, and welcome to the Positive Deposit Podcast, where we transform minds to change lives. And it is a beautiful day today, despite the rain, but I am so excited about my guest tonight. It's an honor to have this young lady. She is the founder of Violet Phoenix Foundation. She is a proud HBCU Alabama A&M graduate. She is just awesome and amazing, and we connected through someone else who actually Mike. He actually has been on the show. So, and I reached out to her, and she was just welcoming me with open arms. And so, this is a podcast where we invite cancer conquerors, as Mike would say. I like that.
Right. I like that.
We're all conquerors, and I'm taking that. I got to take that. But we're conquerors, and positive deposits are courageous conversations. These are the conversations that we allow cancer survivors like myself, like Miss Ward here, to let us walk in their shoes. And it's a good journey, but also too, it allows us to see what they're doing afterwards, because we're all conquerors, we're all survivors, and we are Black superheroes,
Right.
whether you like it or not. And so if this is your first time tuning in, you can stream this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Yes, Courtney, we're on all of them. Without further ado, I want to give the floor to Miss Ward, Courtnie Ward. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And like you said, cancer conquerors, I definitely want to take that one too. I haven't told him yet, but I will.
He'll probably say yes. Go ahead.
But it is nice to talk to other people that they know what you've been through. So I definitely appreciate both of you guys for reaching out to me, or even me reaching out to him, and for us being able to connect.
Yeah, we're cancer is its own membership, and then either you've been through it or you know what it's going through, and if you don't, then it's okay. But
Right.
you're gonna learn tonight.
Right.
All right. So Courtnie, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then after that, let's walk through your journey.
Sure. Sure. So I'm Courtnie Antoinette Ward. My favorite color is yellow, but I do have a newfound respect for the color purple. Okay. So, then that we'll get into that, because purple is not my color, but newfound respect for it.
No doubt.
How do I say this? I dabble in a little of everything. So, one big creative ball, that's probably me. Little bit of a history geek is what I was just called not too long ago. So, and no kids, nothing like that, but I do have my dogs. So,
what kind of dog do you have?
I have an Old English Bulldog.
Old English, okay. I got a nice.
You might hear him snoring in the background.
Is he old? Is he old?
he just snores.
Okay.
So. Yeah, he's snoring right now. So if you hear him, that's
him. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's him.
My dog, you may hear him, but he's so attached to me. He's like my shadow. So even right now, as he's upstairs, he's like kind of whining a little bit. And so it's just like, I already have a daughter that, can,
right.
exercise her lungs, but I also have a dog that does that too. And we're interesting fact, he does not like trap music. Like Future, he starts.
Really?
He starts like some gospel songs too, and I'm like, hold on. How do you howl into gospel songs, like in a bad way, but that's here nor there.
What kind of dog?
He's a pit bull mix, so he's mixed with a Doberman, a red nose. So yeah, so that's his name is Apollo. And what's your dog's name?
Leonidas.
Oh, strong.
Yeah, his name is Leonidas Aristotle.
Okay.
And like you said, he doesn't go that. I don't go that far without him being there. So awesome. I definitely get it.
Okay. So what year were you first diagnosed, and how old were you?
Okay. I was diagnosed September the 16th of 2019.
Wow.
So I'm actually brand new to the game.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Welcome.
But I have traveled I've been through going through the cancer process with my grandma. So I kind of, it was unexpected, but it was pretty easy to kind of adapt to, okay, now it's me, not someone else. But yeah, I was 32.
Okay.
I turned 33 in January.
Aquarius?
So I am.
Okay.
So
January what?
27th.
Okay, my mother is the 21st. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Go mom. Team
Hey,
Aquarius.
exactly. So you were September last year, so you're about to hit your 1 year.
I am. I'm gonna have a birthday party.
If it's Zoom, let me know. I'm there.
I will.
Definitely there. So how'd you find out? Like, how did you find out you were diagnosed?
Sure. So January of 2019, I partied with my sister really hard on New Year's, but something in the back of my mind, I could never really get well. And I'm not a sickly person. So it was like I kept having this reoccurring cough that just wouldn't go away. So after New Year's, I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're going to go to Vegas for my birthday.
Nice.
Well, that week came up, like I said, the reoccurring cough thing, it just kept happening. So I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to an urgent care.
Yeah.
And let's just see what's going on. Well, they started to say, well, maybe you just have asthma, and maybe it looks like you might have had pneumonia. And I was like, I've never been sick. And it was like, well, maybe you have walking pneumonia. And so, of course, they just gave me a steroid shot, gave me some pills, sent me on my way, because I was like, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to fly.
Okay. Still going to Vegas.
I'm still going to Vegas. I only did this just to, precautionary, because my mom was like, I really don't think you need to go.
Right.
And I was like, oh, no, I'm going.
Right.
I went to Vegas, and when I tell you, I zip lined, I walked the strip. I mean, I didn't do that wasn't my first time going, so I didn't do anything too strenuous, but I did everything that I wanted to do.
Right.
That was when I started, and then it just kept coming back. So I finally reached out to my doctor, and I kept saying, hey, this is what I did when I went to an urgent care. But she called, she let me come in. I went in, and she was like, I don't know. I really don't. She was like, I don't see anything like what they're saying.
Wow.
So she sent me to do another x-ray, because of course they did x-rays at an urgent care. And then she was just like, maybe it's just a cold. So she was like, contact me, because I'm not a sickly person. She just couldn't understand that if I called her to come to the doctor, something had to be wrong. So the next time I went, I took myself to I went to an emergency room, and they was just like, well, maybe you do have asthma. They didn't do anything, didn't do any x-rays.
So where is this now? So you went to your trip.
That was like April.
So now 3 months later, now they're like, hey, you got asthma, we don't see anything. And so what's going on in your mind? Are you like, how are you feeling about all this?
To me, I was fine.
Okay.
I was just still moving. Like, to me, it was out of sight, out of mind. If it's nothing, it's nothing. Just keep going. They went to the emergency room the first time. They didn't do any x-rays. They just gave me a breathing treatment, another steroid shot, sent me on my way. Okay. So I went back to my doctor again. And at this time, I'm continuously going to my doctor. So I had to take a leave of absence. And I actually did my leave of absence from February to March. I went back to work in April.
Okay.
And technically I wasn't a leave of absence. It was just short term. So I just did short term. But the reason that she did that was because of the fact that she couldn't figure out why I was having this recurring cough. On top of that, I couldn't walk from my car into my building.
Whoa.
To my desk.
Wow.
So I would get to my desk and I would be out of breath. And that was between from February to April. Well, then she was like, okay, she sent me to the hospital. After I went to the emergency room, she sent me to the hospital. They called a pulmonologist, they called a cardiologist. There was, I was itching all over. So they called a dermatologist. The cardiologist was like, for a 32-year-old drinker, you actually have a really healthy heart. He was like, I don't see anything wrong with your heart. He was like, slight heart murmur, and there's nothing really wrong with your heart. I don't think that it's heart. It's not a heart issue. The pulmonologist was kind of like, I don't really see anything. I don't see any where you might have had pneumonia. I don't see that. I don't know why they told you that, but I don't see that. We'll just bring you in and we'll do tests. They sent me home.
Yeah. And
I stayed there for maybe 3 days.
Okay.
They sent me home. So, of course, all of the fun holidays are coming up after that first time. So May came around, and April, after I got out the hospital, I also went to New Orleans for my sister's bachelorette party.
So you're just traveling. You know.
Yes, I was traveling.
You're not telling me anything, and so I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, but while I was in New Orleans, I realized I was in pain. Like there were times that my pain was in my lower back. If I coughed, it hurt.
Yeah.
And people always ask, well, how does it hurt? It doesn't hurt my chest. Nope. I feel the pain somewhere completely different. When I cough, I started getting to the point where I would tell people, don't make me laugh. And they'd be like, why? And I would be like, because if I laugh, it hurts. And they would be like, what you mean? Your chest hurts? No, it's
what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Where's your
right? So it was hard to, for people to understand. And being that I used to run a club, I was used to being out. So I started doing. So you owned your own club in Alabama? I used to run a club.
Wow, you're a manager. Okay.
Yes.
What was the name of the club?
Fourth Quarter.
Okay, I like that name. Now, was it like a lounge or was it actually like a club?
It was like a club. Wow. It was a club. So being somewhat of a socialite person, when you don't feel your best, and I would go out and I would have a few drinks, but I would be in pain, but I wouldn't think about it because, again, I'm single, I'm 32, all I have to do is take care of my dog. I'm going out, I'm going to drink. The more I drink, the less pain I'm going to feel. That's how I was thinking about it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
so you were drinking your pain away.
Yeah, I was drinking my pain away. Wow. I just didn't think. But I did start to notice that, yes, when I drank, I was in pain, but then it would go away. I would still, of course, I was itching all over the place. Yeah. And then, but I couldn't drink like I normally would drink.
Okay.
So I would have like 2 or 3 drinks. Yes, the pain would subside, but then once I got to my 4th drink, it was like I had 10.
Wow.
And I was like, that's not really right. So I was trying not to go out as much, even though I was actually coming into rebuilding my brand as a socialite.
Right. So you're going through all this pain, you're trying to rebuild, you don't really know what's going on with you because every time you go to the doctor, it's like a pump fake. It's like, hey, I'm here, but you're not telling me. They don't know. And so now I think we're in summertime now. And so it's the end of the summer. Is that when you got another so let's go to September.
I went back to the hospital.
Wow, you went back to the hospital. Okay.
Nothing.
So when was the moment when they finally told you, or you figured out?
So I went to Florida. My sister got married in July. Okay. And of course I do events. So I did her whole wedding, you know, just as is. But again, I never thought about the pain. I just didn't think it was anything. I just puff my inhaler and keep going.
Exactly.
So my in-law, one of my in-laws was pregnant. So I went to Florida for a week, almost 2 weeks. And this was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
I drove to Florida by myself, to Orlando by myself. I was like popping pain pills, like Tylenol. If I was in that much pain, I'd just take a Tylenol and keep going.
Yeah.
Because of course I was out of work at that time. And matter of fact, before that, I went back to New Orleans in August for my sister's birthday. So
you the turn up queen.
The whole time.
You are the turn up queen. but it's a part of, you know, your social life. You're a part of the club. You know, you kind of keep it moving until you can't. So I totally, you know, I'm the same way. You know, I'm a promoter, and I normally just do now Howard University events and just on all. But I get it. We could keep going and going and going.
Yeah, if you don't think about it, you just keep going. So my last day, because I planned the baby shower. I did the event. So I came back. I was in a resort, and my last day in Orlando, I was like, well, this is going to be my calm down day. So Sunday, I'm not going to leave till Monday.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to sit by the pool and have drinks and order room service and this and that. And then, you know, live up the best thing that I could do.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame you.
That Sunday night when I left the pool, and I'm a Patriots fan.
Okay.
I was like, I have to leave the pool by the time the Patriots game come on. I got in my room, I took a shower, and I sat on my bed to watch the game. And of course, there were people still drinking around me, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it was like I could not move.
Wow.
I was in so much pain.
Wow.
It was like I ran a marathon. So I woke up that Monday because, of course, I was supposed to check out, and I just could not. I called downstairs. I could not move. I was like, I'm going to stay an extra day. I've already paid, you know. Yeah. Please don't make me move out of this room. Just tell me what I need to do. And they was like, you know, everything's good. And I end up getting up the next day and driving back home.
Okay.
When I called to tell everybody I was on my way, because of course everybody was looking for me on Monday, I told my sister, I was like, you know, I just couldn't do it. She told me when I got to Huntsville, if you're still in this much pain, because I already had one CAT scan before I left. But again, like you said, I'm the turn-up queen. So she noticed something instantly when they sent her the first scan. That was like the day before I left to go to Florida. She was like, they were like, hey, can you come back? I was like, no, I'm not even there.
So they told you to come back, but you were like, I'm out.
No, I was already gone.
Oh, you are? No, I'm saying you were already out, gone on the road.
I was
you know,
I was like, I'm already I was like, they were like, hey, we need you to come back to do another scan. I was like, I'm not even there. It's gonna be a week. And they didn't. The person that told me didn't make it seem like there was any sense of urgency.
What's the sense of urgency? Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, you know, I'm scheduling.
See you when I get back.
Right.
Yeah. See you when I get back.
So I went that Wednesday and I had the second scan, and like I said, my primary physician, in the back of her mind, she always thought it was something, because I just don't go to the doctor like that. There's nothing wrong. If I'm not dying, I don't go.
Yeah, exactly.
That Thursday, I did the second scan Wednesday. That Thursday, my sister was like, you cried all night long. She was like, I'm calling the doctor.
Yeah.
As soon as she called the doctor, she told her to take me to the hospital.
Wow.
And I took my time because I was still thinking there's nothing wrong.
Right.
And she came. I've never had my doctor show up to the hospital within an hour of me being there.
Right.
Usually it takes a little time, but she was there and she was like, hey, you know, want to say this is what it is, but I have an oncologist coming. He'll be here tomorrow morning. And I was
wait,
like,
hold
okay.
on. So did you know at that time what an oncologist was?
I
Oncologist?
did.
Okay.
Yes.
And it didn't phase you. You didn't say.
No, I was just like, okay, because in the back of my mind, I was like, this is nothing.
Because you've been told this time.
It's been 8 months.
And nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, whatever. But on Friday when he came, and my doctor is Dr. Daniel Schroeder at Clearview Cancer Institute in Huntsville. He is the best oncologist ever. When he came,
Doctor, you said Teeter? Dr. Teeter?
Daniel Schroeder.
Oh, Schroeder. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He came and he showed up at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And of course I was pacing because I was in pain. And that was my way of subsiding it. And he was like, hey, can I sit on your bed? I was like, I don't care. I don't want to sit in the bed. I'm ready to go. Yeah. And he was like, you're in pain. I was like, I'm okay. He was like, no, you're not.
Wow.
You're in pain. He was like, I looked at your blood sample. Mm-hmm. He was like, you haven't passed out anywhere? I was like, no. I was like, I just drove from Florida. Yeah. He was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. He was like, you are like 2 to 3 days from being dead. He was like, you're dying. Your blood is so bad. He was like, I cannot believe that you haven't passed out. Like, he was like, I don't even understand how you're still going. Yeah. And I was like, I just went swimming, like, Yeah. He was like, look, no, you have to, he was like, first of all, you have to tell me when you're in pain. He was like, let's get that straight first. When you're in pain, tell me. If you don't acknowledge that you're in pain, then I don't know. You know, he was like, I don't think you have high blood pressure. I think that you're just in pain. He was like, so eventually we'll fix all of that, but let's figure out this first. He was like, I'm not going to say that it's cancer. Maybe we just need to fix your blood and that's it. He was like, but it's Friday. I'm going to send you for a PET scan. Don't worry about the cost. I know what I need to do to get everything done. I won't be back until Monday. He was just straight up honest. I'm not going to be back until Monday. It's Friday. They're going to take their time giving me what I need. But when I find out, I'll be back. Yeah. He found out and he was back.
So did he tell you that did you have to get a biopsy? Is that when he told you like, hey, it's cancer? So
he did. Matter of fact, yeah, I did a biopsy that Friday as well.
Okay. So when he told you, or when they gave you the diagnosis, what was that first reaction?
When he left that Friday, I told my sister that I had cancer. And she was like, no, you don't. I was like, yes, I do. Yeah. But I thought it was breast cancer. Oh. Because my grandmother had breast cancer. She beat it. Now she is. Yeah. Right, yeah. So now she's battling bone cancer. So, and it's not doing too well. So I already knew. Yeah. I already know.
So when they told you it was cancer, like, did your heart drop? Like, how were you feeling now that you finally got a diagnosis?
I don't ever think it really hit me until I got home. Okay. There are other things that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of being put to sleep. So I was more afraid of anesthesia than them putting a port in me. Right. And it's weird because I have 10 tattoos, but people are like, how are you afraid of stuff like that? And I'm like, that's different. Yeah, it's slightly different. So, it didn't really hit me until I got home.
How was treatment for you? Like, how was that? You didn't have to do radiation, right? It was just only chemo. So how was chemotherapy?
I was okay at first. Mm-hmm. Every 2 weeks. Okay. So by November, I decided that I was going to take pictures and tell everybody that I had cancer. So I just fell off the scene.
What made you go there? You know, why did you, you know, wait so long to have that moment?
I didn't want anybody to know.
What were you afraid of?
Dying.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. So by November, I had to do something to make me feel pretty, and that's when I decided to tell everybody that, hey, I'm going through chemo, because it was more or less going through chemo, I think, that mentally hurt me than the actual process. Like losing my hair was another thing, but actually going through chemo, I didn't want people to think I needed anything.
You want people to feel sorry for you, huh?
Right.
You know, it's so interesting that you say that, is because when I first got diagnosed in 2012, I felt the same way. You know, when you, and I was approaching 30, you know, I was approaching 30. This is 2012. I'm like, you know, this bad news. And now I have a lifestyle change, you know, like the chemotherapy, that first session is something else, isn't it?
I don't know. I had surgery and chemo on the same day, so I have no idea.
How was it so that's interesting, because I was supposed to have that too, but for me it was more or less like I had to get a more aggressive chemotherapy than the second time, because the second time I had what you had, you know, stage 4 Hodgkins, you know, so I had to get the AVBD, but the first time I had to get R-CHOP, and R-CHOP is a little bit more aggressive. And so I was tired, sense of taste was gone, hair falling out, all these things are happening to me. And I had to figure out what I was gonna do. And I only told like my close friends, but I was afraid to even mention it. You know, I look back at pictures, like I didn't have no eyebrows, I didn't have no mustache. All my hair came out, you know, all of it. And so they were like, why are you bald? And I'm like, man, I got a new look, man. I'm just trying this out, you know, trying to be strong inside. But deep down, I was like, you know, this shit sucks.
Right. It's really bad. So, you know, I just didn't want anybody to know.
So once you told people in November, how was your support system? You know,
I really didn't tell them. I just put pictures on Facebook and was like,
okay. Surprise.
Yeah, it was kind of like surprise.
Hey, I got kids.
Because like you said, only my close friends and family knew. And I have a really strong support system.
What did that look like? Did they bring you stuff? Like, you know, are they encouraging, you know, like, did you have that one person that just kept life normal for you, you know?
My sister. She kept life
The one that
normal.
got married?
No,
another sister. Okay.
Yes, I have two sisters. So the one that got married, no, my middle sister, have you ever seen The Act?
The what?
The Act.
What is that?
It was a show on Hulu. It's called The Act.
No, I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna check it out now.
You gotta check it out.
Okay.
Because it's gonna sound bad for people that saw it, but we kind of made a joke out of it, and like
so what was that joke?
I call her Dee Dee. The mother in The Act, her name is Dee Dee, and she's overprotective about her child. She made her child sick. Like, she would try to tell her she was sick. Like, you're doing this, you're doing
right.
So, and she calls me Gypsy Rose now because that's the little girl name. Now, it's a bad story. Now, don't get me wrong. It's an awful story. The little girl ended up killing her mom. But like I said,
don't kill your sister. Do not kill your sister.
I'm not. We made a joke out of the situation, but we was kind of like, every time I would turn around, she would be like, hey, do you need this? Do you need that? And I'd be like, no.
Right.
And it's hard I don't know. It was hard for me to tell her, like, cream of wheat. This is a good one. She thought that I wanted cream of wheat every day. One day she brought me cream of wheat, and I was sitting in the bed and I was just crying. I mean, I was in tears because I didn't know how to tell her I don't want that. Yeah. Like,
no, but why did she think you want cream of wheat? You know, did you?
Because that was something I would eat.
Oh, that was just your norm. Okay.
Right. Something
Okay.
that I could taste.
Well, it's such a blessing to have those family members that are rocks for us. You know what I mean? Like for me, my sister and my mother were those rocks as far as my family, you know, and they kept my normalcy together, you know, and um, not everybody can fill those shoes, you know.
Right.
And I had one friend that uh was my rock too, you know, just every day. What do you want to do today? You know, things of that nature to kept because deep down inside mentally it does you know, deteriorate our sense of hope. However, you know, there is a God that will bring you through the dark
Right.
storms and valleys. And so I'm so glad that you had your sister to have that support. So so you finished your chemo. Did you do anything special? Did you have like a celebration? Did you throw a party?
I did. So I had a group of friends, of course, all my club friends, but one person in particular, the club owner, he
Yeah.
was like, well, I want to, of course, because we hadn't been in business for 3 years at that
Yeah.
point. Well, so he was like, let's throw a fundraiser. I was like, okay. So I decided I was going to take that fundraiser and turn it into a nonprofit.
Hey man, so let's talk about that because I love the name Violet Phoenix Foundation. And so you turned your victory into the work that you're working on now. Let's talk about this. So what is Violet
Yes.
Phoenix Foundation? You know, what is the mission? What's the vision for Phoenix, Violet Phoenix?
So what we do, no, you're fine. What we do is we reach out to people like you and I who have either conquered cancer or battling cancer at our age, and
Yeah.
we help keep you mentally grounded.
Okay.
Because it's important. Because for me and how I felt was it wasn't about, how do I say it? It wasn't about going through cancer. It was a whole mental change, and
Yeah.
it took me from being a fearless person to thinking, oh my goodness, I could have died, and
Yeah.
how could I be so stupid, and this and that and this, and I was doing this and I was doing that. I mean, think about it. Like you said, I traveled the whole time not
Yeah.
knowing I had cancer.
And so now, do you guys have like a hotline? Do you have like a support groups? Like, is it more or less like you once you find out, you may partner them with like a mentor or something like that? Is that
So what we're doing right now, because of course we started in the age of coronavirus.
coronavirus?
Right. We're still working on getting our platforms together. I do reach out to a few cancer survivors that I know. I design clothes. So something that we did do and something that I wanted to do was I wanted to make masks for people that needed them. So we did
Nice.
kind of do that because that was something we could do while we were still working on paperwork. And
Yeah.
of course, with coronavirus shutting things down, it's taking a while. But
Yeah.
we are trying to, like you said, match people up with somebody.
Yeah.
Let's have like AA meetings for cancer survivors.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, sign me up if you need a mentor, you know, or someone to, you know, just to match up with, whether it's female, male, it doesn't matter. No, I think that's awesome. I mean, one thing that we're going to be launching next year within Positive Deposits is a support group, you know, not only for cancer survivors, but for caregivers as well, too, because they matter
Right.
too, you know. But that's awesome work. And I'm glad that you make masks. Like, what do the masks have? Do they have designs? Are they like,
I just took
custom?
donations.
Okay.
I took donations of fabric. I bought as much fabric as I could afford. I took donations on fabric. So I just put them together. But they are good quality, almost basically N95 quality masks, because they have a filter built into them.
Nice.
With 2 cotton outside. So I'm definitely going to get you one.
Okay. Yo, please. I need that. I need that. What has this process taught you? You know, like what has this experience like, you know, shown you?
It taught me to use my platform to do something better.
Yeah.
Don't just throw an extravagant party. Throw an extravagant party for a cause. Make other people feel good.
Yeah.
show other people that you can do it. Because there were times, like you said, when did I realize what was hard? In November, I wanted to give up. I didn't want to do it anymore. So yeah, you can do it. It takes the support, like you say, it takes that support system to say, I don't care what you want to do, you're gonna do it anyway.
Right.
But and that was my mom. My mom actually, one time I was having one of those crying spells, and she was sitting in the chair, and she looked at me and she was like, you just gonna have to get over this.
Yeah, you got to be strong through this. Yeah.
It was a little harsh, but and my nephew was like, I mean, Gigi, did you just tell her she had to get over having cancer? She got cancer.
Right. So heartless. Jesus.
Right.
How was your faith throughout this process? Did your faith grow stronger? Like,
It did.
Okay.
It did. I'm a really big spiritual person, so
Amen.
I'm into my spirituality in different ways. So now I kind of I keep my routine of this is how I'm gonna do this, because it was something that I just got so used to doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And now I just do it. So
Yes.
yeah, it grew tremendously.
No, that's awesome, man. And so, the one thing as I hear through your story, you're very strong. You are very strong, and that comes to me because, like, despite everything, despite the visits, you kind of just kept going, and you persevered like none other. But there is that side that it finally hits you, like, man, I'm dealing with death face to face. We are having a very long conversation, but as the treatments were going, you just kept pushing through, and then use your platform to, have the gala, right? You had a gala, right?
Right. I did have a gala. I had a big party.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and that was our inaugural gala. So we're gonna do it every year.
Okay.
Hopefully I can get you and Mike here next year. Well, it might not. Again, we're living in the age of coronavirus, so it might not be next year.
Well, I would love to come to Alabama. If y'all decide to do it virtually, I'll dress up virtually for your gala. Okay. I think that is awesome. And what did so the money that you used for the gala, what was that used for? Like, how did you support survivors?
So the money from the gala we used to help set up, and a lot of people were donating because of me. So initially we used that money to help set up the foundation and for me, because there were things that I just didn't have that I needed. Yeah. But I put everything that we got from the gala back into the foundation, which that money helped pay for the fabric for the mask. Hey, because like I said, I took everything that we had and I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Yeah. Because I'm more about how I can help somebody, because I can be a bit of a jerk, but I do help people. At the end of the day, I think everyone has a little bit of jerkness in them. It may be nice, it may be subtle, it may be subliminal, so it's okay, it's okay, but don't be too intentional with your jerkness, Right. Well, I mean, and that's funny because I got quite a bit of support from people that there were times where, I wasn't so nice to you. Yeah. But I was okay with saying that. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I wasn't nice. I apologize. I mean,
I can see we could get along very well. We have some of the same temperaments and same sarcasm, and but no, I think that what you're doing is great. I love the idea of the mask. I mean, you can't go wrong with masks. We're in coronavirus. Right. Like, I'm sure, I don't know what the Alabama's rules are, but Maryland, DC, Virginia, can't get in nowhere without a mask. And you just have, that's our new norm. We would never think that what we see in the movies is now every single day, wearing masks. People are jogging with a mask. Wearing masks. Usually that's because it's a training mask, but no, they're wearing masks, and right. And hopefully, that will change. Oh, let's just change it. What do you think about Kamala?
I'm excited. I already knew. I mean, I don't know how people didn't have this in the back of their mind. Once Joe Biden announced that he was running, and it was like maybe a month, and she was like, oh, I'm just going to get out. I was like, why? I was like, he had to have called her and be like, hey, I will put you on the ticket if you get out.
You know what's crazy? I saw a clip on Instagram about like how I felt you mentioned that. I feel like that happened a long time ago.
Right.
That recording, he probably was like, hey, he probably planned it. He was like, this is my plan. Hey, are you ready to work? You know what I mean? And then now we have the clip, and they was like, boom, here we go. I just threw you for a loophole, and I just wanted to wait it out. But I mean, I'm excited. I think that, for all the accolades of being the first Black woman to do this and this and
right.
this, like that's Black girl magic, And of course, she's from my alma mater, so I'm a proud Bison. You know what I mean?
I know.
And so I ain't gonna go crazy, but I think that they can make change. I think Biden, that's his balance. I think he's been kind of out there saying certain things, and but I think that Kamala is going to bring that backbone that he needs. And they can hate, but I smell a victory. I smell
a victory. Because you can't. It's something that I think that we have to realize as Black people is, even if you work for Walmart, you still got to do your job.
You got to do your job. Yep.
Regardless of the fact, you got to do your job.
Clock in, clock out.
Right. You still got to do your job. So you can't be mad at her for some of the things that she had to do, because at the end of the day, it wasn't about her. It was about her having to do her job. Exactly. It wasn't about that. So to me, I think she's an excellent candidate. I think that she speaks so well. Yeah. I usually hate when people say that, but she does. She speaks so well, even when she's tearing somebody down. It's brought so eloquently. I don't know if it's the Howard in her or either it's just HBCU, but
we in her era, we just fight adversity with our intelligence. You see what I'm saying?
What they call y'all, the new Wakanda now.
Well, look, Courtnie, part of Positive Deposits is we are transforming minds to change lives. And I want you to take this moment to give some positive deposits for those that are, always on the run, for those that may not know that they need to go to the doctor, but for those that are still surviving, just like me and you, and I always ask people, what are your 3 positive deposits that you would, give a recently diagnosed patient or a survivor or a conqueror or just a caregiver? What are 3 things?
Never give up.
Okay.
Keep a positive mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when things look like they're just not gonna go right, or it's just not gonna end, know yourself. Be true to yourself.
Powerful. You heard that. Know yourself. Never give up. And have a positive mind. That was amazing. Courtnie, I thank you so much for joining me today. I love your journey, your story. And I'm just blessed that we met, and you are now part of the Positive Deposits family. And
thank you.
And I can't wait to show you the launch. It's some dope stuff that we're gonna do. But it's not about me, it's about you. So if people want to support or start to get ready to support the Violet Phoenix Foundation, where can folks find you, or you find the information about the foundation?
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Office Space. I'm the original Office Space. So that's me. Or you can find us on Instagram at Violet Phoenix Foundation. You can also find us on Facebook under my name, which would be Courtnie Ward, and then it's a page for Violet Phoenix Foundation. And we do still have our GoFundMe up because, like I said, we're still working on paperwork because it's a process. It has been a truly challenging process, but it's a process. So we do still have our GoFundMe up, and it's just Violet Phoenix. And we're actually looking into we still have a few auction pieces from the gala. So we'll probably put an auction up really soon.
Okay. Well, you heard it live from the CEO, founder of Violet Phoenix Foundation. You can find her on Facebook. You can find her on Instagram. Please follow this organization. She is doing some great things in the community. And, it's survivors like her that inspire other people to do more, and she's a strong conqueror. She's a very strong conqueror. Well, again, thank you for being on this show. For those that are listening, you already know where to find Miss Ward. If you want to continue to support Positive Deposits, go to our website, www.positivedeposits.org. You can donate to the cause so we can continue this amazing podcast to meet amazing survivors just like Miss Ward. And until next time, continue to transform minds to change lives.